Hello and welcome to yet another live from me here on LinkedIn and YouTube. I'm so happy to see you all. It is great to have you. So today the question is actually two questions rolled up in one. And they are really good questions because it's how do you find intellectual property and can you buy it? So if you don't know what I'm talking about intellectual property, and intellectual property can be many things. Let me read the definition from my book. Let's have a look. Intellectual property. Intellectual property is something unique that you physically create. It can also be referred... I'll pop my teeth back in again. It can also be referred to as a brainchild. A lot of people think that an idea can be protected or that a brand or business name can be patented. Hello, Jean. How kind of you to join me. That is so fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me. I know that you will get massive value from this call today. If you have any questions, do pop them in the chat box so that I can address them. So an idea alone is not intellectual property because an idea stays in your head. The words that I've used to write this book of mine, that is no longer just an idea. I got the idea first, and then I sat myself down and wrote the book. And it has my original way of expressing myself, which means that it is unique. So that means it is protectable. And I don't know if you remember, but copyright comes into existence automatically, contrary to a trademark. So as long as what you've written is actually original, then we can protect it. If you were to copy and paste a lot of material from somebody else's work, that is considered plagiarism, so don't do that. Once you've been accused of plagiarism, it is very difficult to clear yourself off the accusation. In other words, plagiarism is detrimental to you and your career or business. Copyrights, patents, designs, and trademarks are all different types of intellectual property. Your intellectual property is either protected automatically from theft or copying, or you can register it to protect it. So in America, they always suggest that people actually register their copyright so that, and you do that at the Writers Guild, and that way, if it comes to a battle in the court, then you've got proof. Although not every kind of intellectual property can be registered, most forms can be protected either through an application or by means of automatic copyright. Intellectual copyright is often abbreviated IP or IPR. You can see that here. The R is standing for rights in my logo, Grand IPR, and trademark Grand IPR. The abbreviation used is IPR. I might also give you the Wikipedia one just for variation. Yeah, we've got it right here. Intellectual property is a category of property that includes intangible creations of the human intellect. I'm reading from my phone this time. There are many types of intellectual property, and some countries recognize more than others. The best known types are copyrights, patents, trademarks, and trade secrets. I didn't mention trade secrets, but that's true as well. And the modern concept of intellectual property developed in England in the 17th and 18th century. The term intellectual property began to be used in the 19th century, though it was not until the late 20th century that intellectual property became commonplace in the majority of the world's legal system. And actually, we can here in England be very, very thankful to Queen Anne, because she is the woman, the Queen, who gave us the world's first copyright legislation. How magnificent is that? So to go back to the questions, how do you find intellectual property, and can you buy it? So intellectual property is something that you can find in other businesses, and you can also create your own, which is always the best idea. And if you want to buy it, then you could, for instance, say you wanted a sound mark. That is one of the different types of trademarks in existence. And if you wanted a sound mark, then you would approach a composer or sound engineer or musician, whatever term they go by, and you would have a conversation with them, and then they would go away and create the sound for you, and then somebody like me would register it as a trademark. Actually, as a part of my academy, I'm not going to be selling anything here. I'm just mentioning, in my bespoke academy, part of the academy is that you get either the graphic representation or you get the sound mark. That's as part of the price. I just wanted to mention that. But other than that, you can buy this book. That's intellectual property. You're just not allowed to use it. You can be inspired by it. That's totally fine. I was very inspired by my favorite professor from the University of Copenhagen, Morten Rosenmeier. He was very inspirational to me, and he helped me with this book. So you can buy my book, and that's intellectual property. Another way of buying intellectual property is if you are wanting to buy somebody else's business, and then you buy the intellectual property that is comprised in the business, or the business comprises of. And a few weeks ago, I wrote about The Founder, the film The Founder, which is the story about, hang on, I need some water. So The Founder is the story of how the two brothers, the two McDonald brothers, suddenly found themselves being completely taken over by this other guy. What was his name? Ray, I think, Ray something or other. And he actually saw the value of the name McDonald's. And so he very swiftly, without their knowledge, went and registered as a trademark. So that's another. I don't suggest that you do that. Some people will, of course, do it, and we can't stop that. But it's another way of buying intellectual property, is when you buy somebody else's business, because for whatever reason they don't want to do it anymore. Either they're serial entrepreneurs and they just have these ideas popping the whole time, and they can't stay still, and they don't want to stay still, which is totally fine. So they will want to sell their businesses at one point in time, and then because they have a registered trademark, because they know and understand the value of that, that means that their business is that much more worth. And And for instance, if an American is looking to buy your business, if you don't have a registered trademark, they will put the goodwill of your business to nil, which is not what you want, because that means that you will get less paid for the business. The price, the sale price will be far less than you were expecting. So those are different ways of buying intellectual property. And the other day I wrote about businesses such as Lego and or Lego and Costa Coffee. They create products that integrate other people's brands. And how can they do that? Well, they can do that because they go out and get a license. And a license is another way of obtaining a right to using somebody else's intellectual property. So that's another way of doing it. So there are plenty of ways that you can actually sort of get hold of intellectual property. If you are not a creator yourself, if you are more of an empire builder and you see the value of something somebody else has created, you can then obtain a license to use it. And with musicians and singers, you will often hear, like, a really magnificent example is Whitney Houston, who sang "I Will Always Love You." She did not write that, and it wasn't written for her. It was actually Dolly Parton who wrote it originally, and Whitney Houston got a license to re-record it. And Dolly Parton is quite open and honest about the fact that Whitney made her a lot of money with that song, and the license for that made sure that Dolly got the royalties of that. So so both of them actually made money, but because Dolly was the license holder, she has also made money from it. So that's yet another way of doing it. I can tell that my internet might not be very stable today. I do apologize for that. Jean, can you hear me properly? Are you still here? Can anybody hear me? Can you see me properly? I don't know how well this internet is functioning. I can't see if it's unstable, other than there's a very low signal by the looks of it. Anyway, this is a really great conversation. So do pop in questions if you have any for me. If not, you can always catch this on replay. It goes out on LinkedIn, but if it disappears from LinkedIn, you can always find it on my YouTube channel. I've actually got a new YouTube link. Ooh, let me see if I can find that for you, because I have finally been given my own customized link. I don't know what happened to that. Let me see if I can find it. No, that's not the one. Anyway, if you have any questions, do pop them in the box so that I can see them. And let me see if I can find that new YouTube link. Don't know what I've done with it. What did I do with it? It doesn't look, when I look at my channel, as if it has been put on here, which is a bit peculiar. But hey ho, such is life. Anyway, the link to my YouTube channel is right here. Can't find the customized one. I just got a new that looks pretty silly. I just got a new one the other day, and I don't know what I've done with it. So Okay, anyway, I don't know if Jean has any questions for me. It doesn't look that way, but oh, and my book. You can buy my book. There are 2 different links for my book, by the way, because I've got 2 versions of my book. So one is the actual physical book and one is the ebook version of it. And my website is a bit slow to load today, I'm afraid. But if you have any questions, just feel free to pop them in the box and I shall address them. Here is the link to my physical book. I will pop them in afterwards as well. And I do believe this to be my ebook. Yeah, here we go. The ebook version is right here. Yeah. So since nobody has put any questions for me, I think I'm going to wrap this session up. Let me know if you have any questions. So we have been talking about how do you find intellectual property and can you buy it? And if you haven't heard what I've said, if you've just joined us for whatever reason, go back to the very beginning and watch on replay because there is a lot of platinum nuggets in there. So yeah. And I look forward to seeing you again next week. I'll just give you a moment or two to type in any questions you might have. Any questions? Any questions? Nope, no questions. All right, so let's wrap it up for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate you being here. And I know that this has proven to be of massive value to you. As I say, platinum nuggets in here. So I shall see you all next Tuesday. Thank you so much again and have a blessed day. Over and out for now.